Adam, Adam, not again.
Who is calling me now? Hello?
Adam, dude, we're live.
Oh, all right, thanks, bye. What's up, guys? It's Adam, aka Marv, and this is Marfoogle News Live. We are going to be covering the top news stories, which I assume are all here. We will be right back after this message from our non-sponsor. Wow, Dex, you could have told me a little earlier.
Whoops.
Okay. So, we may not have had banter tonight. What is up, guys? If you've never been here before, this is a live show. I am Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Tonight, we are covering some of the craziest stuff that has come out this week, including Sweden moving their army underground, possibly for a fear of, something like a Pearl Harbor happening, only the enemy is not Japan this time. Dex, I just want to make sure that you are here, that your sound check is good, and that everything sounds all right. Dex will be screening all of our calls, and he will also be able to load up different articles and things that the callers actually give him, and we have a live connection so we can show him on the show. Dex, are you there?
Hello, Adam. I am here, and hello, Foogle Fam.
So, thank you guys for all being here on a Friday night. Dex, we are going to cover some cool stuff here, but you actually had one of the Foogle family members kind of alert you to something, and then you did some digging and found some really crazy stuff that just got signed in. Was it today or yesterday?
It was yesterday.
So yesterday, an order was signed that essentially gives the United States some sort of manpower during some sort of civil event. We'll talk about that here in a minute. We'll talk about NATO. We are going to talk about Sweden, of course, straight up putting their Navy ships into a 007, Nintendo 64 Bond underground Navy shipyard. Super creepy. And we are also going to talk about Ebola, the New York Police Department, hepatitis, UFOs. In fact, there was a big UFO story tonight. So all of this is going to be covered right now. I wish there was something that activated right there, like, something epic. Right now. Okay, well, there's no epic, anything there. So we'll just keep going. Dex, so do you want to go over this Manpower Guidance for activation and deactivation so we can tell everybody about this?
Certainly, Adam. So if you're showing on the screen, there is not an article. There's actually an order that's been signed yesterday, and this was on the Marines.mil website. So this is from the official U.S. Marines website, and it's the Manpower Guidance for activation and deactivation of reserve component Marines ordered to active duty in support of civil authorities. Now, what's interesting about this is that it was signed yesterday, and what's interesting is that, why was it signed? What did we need to do to have this right now, and especially what's going on with things in the political climate here. Certainly, I could see in some of the areas of this document, it talks about helping, civil emergencies with governor's requests. I can actually walk through a few of the different things that you can do here with this order. But given the state of the things with T-Man and with impeachment and with lots of conversations that are going around about, people thinking that's tyrannical, and if we, our votes don't count because our president, then there is, a lot of discussion about what might happen here in America. And so, kind of interesting that this document was signed yesterday. A couple of key points in here was, this one obviously makes a lot of sense. If a governor requests federal assistance in responding to a major disaster or emergency, the Secretary of Defense may, without consent, bring up the units and deploy them for up to 120 days. If a governor requests federal assistance in responding to the declaration of a major disaster or emergency, or when directed, this is interesting, when directed by the president in support of a request for assistance from any primary federal department or agency. And there's a lot of other information in this document. I have not read it all. I'll go ahead and be the first one to tell you, I don't even fully understand it. I just got it recently from a Foogle Fam member that sent it to me. But it does, cause, alarms to think, okay, why do we need to sign this yesterday? What's going on? Is this something new? Is there something in here that we need to be aware of? So this is posted. It's on our website. I'm going to be digging through it later after the show. More insight on what's actually going on in this document, this order. Again, it's the Manpower Guidance for the activation and deactivation of the reserve components of the Marines for support of civil authorities. So that would mean on our soil, on our land.
So this actually kind of is something that totally surrounds the deployment of our own soldiers on our own land, as far as it says, defense support of civil authorities. Now, of reserve component, does that mean that this is only for the reserves? I'm just being totally a layman here, as far as in that name.
That's how I'm reading it right now, Adam, is that this is directed at pulling in the reserves and deploying them, and how to quickly gain manpower for an emergency. If there's some sort of civil unrest, if there's some sort of disaster declared, being able to grab reserve Marines and deploy them immediately.
I just wonder if this has anything to do with kind of a draft type thing. We haven't looked fully through it. Again, we got this just a couple hours before and didn't get to look all the way through it, but it does sound like this is kind of surrounding some of the things that we fear would happen. So, when they prepare something and when they set things up budget-wise or order-wise to happen, we always point that out. We always look at it, especially, and I'm not just talking about us, this entire community. The only person I saw other than this, Hal Turner covered this briefly, and they did turn it into a scary thing. We're not trying to scare anybody with this. We wanted to come at it from the component that, we don't know exactly what this is. We don't know why it was signed yesterday. And if you guys want to check it out, it has a Mara Demons number of 550/19. I guarantee you, if you look up on Google that, we're going to link it, of course, on our website, marfooglenews.com. But if you look up that Mara Demons number right here, I'm sure Google's going to pop that right up. So if you want to type that in, you can go through it in detail. And that's exactly how they posted it. I mean, this is the Marines .mil, as in, .military website. So that is kind of fits in, I feel like it fits into a lot of the other news. We're going to go through the news. We are going to open up the phone calls. If you've never been here before, we don't just say something and then say, somebody said it. That would be considered hearsay, which hearsay is not very reliable. We actually take every article that we use, or if we use it for information, we will put it on marfooglenews.com and we archive it for every show. So before every show, Dex and myself take the time to put this together and then actually put it onto the website. So when you look at this website, it shows you the thumbnails. So in this case, if you actually look, you'll see this thumbnail, which is there, and then you'll be able to click on it. And down below, you will see not only the video you can watch live on our website, or you can watch it a month later. you will see every article that we are about to cover here right underneath. So even if you are watching this 2 months from now, tomorrow, the next day, doesn't matter when, you can actually follow along. If you have two devices, like a tablet and a phone, you can actually read these articles along with us. And we feel like we have picked, there's a ton in it. I mean, there's 10,000 news stories. We have tried to narrow it down so, we give you kind of a splice of everything. Again, we try to have fun here. We talk about a lot of scary topics. Some of the topics we're talking about tonight are scary, but this is not considered to be, we're not trying to be fear porn. We're trying to show you fear-based facts against fear-based fiction. They are going to scare you into making decisions. We are trying to educate you so you're not scared. Either way, and again, preparing is a big part of this. We have groups all over the country that are preparing, that are meeting in person. I just want to put something out there. There's this rumor that somebody went missing after one of our meetings. That was completely and utterly made up. So I just want to put that to sleep. There's been a lot of weird things, that people say. I just want to put that to sleep right now. In fact, our groups are doing better than ever. And they're meeting at public parks, they're meeting at restaurants, and they're actually organizing. I think that what they want to do, and they actually are trying to stop these meetups. It's really weird. The people that have come out of the woodworks to try to take this channel down, it really kind of says we are organizing, which for a fact, if you're any kind of truther, that they are trying to as a government, period, every country, when they see a group kind of rising and organizing and coming together, they're going to do anything they can. I mean, they'll scratch at nails. They will put out anything they can to try to take something like that down. And if that doesn't work, they'll try to go from the bottom up, from the top down. I mean, they will go after everybody even attached. So just know, I know with this much, with this much stuff going on, we're on the right track. I honestly feel like I'm not going to give up. A lot of people have said don't give up, don't, whatever else. I'm not going to give up. They've said many really, really nasty negative things. I'm going to keep going through all of it. And I have for 5 months. A lot of you don't even know half of it. So just so you know, we are going to keep this going for the groups, for the people. This is a very serious thing. We are organizing and we are preparing groups. It's not that weird. So they want you to not go to these meetings. They want you to not organize and be self-reliant and not depend on somebody else. And this says NATO commander backs sending more javelins to Ukraine. It says NATO Supreme Allied Commander General Todd Walters said Thursday that he backed sending more Javelin tank killer missiles to Ukraine, but steered clear of commenting on the political fallout from President DT's impeachment inquiry crisis. At a Pentagon briefing, Walters responded with a flat no when asked whether he had discussed with alliance partners the allegations that T-Man pressured Ukraine's president on buying javelins to get dirt on potential 2020 election rival Joe Biden. This was a quote from Walters. I haven't had any conversation with my military-to-military counterparts or with anybody about the allegations about T-Man and the potential impact for the alliance, said Walters. It says the same is true for his counterparts in Ukraine, Walters said. Walters' talks with Ukraine's military were centered and focused on the operations, activities, training events, and exercises that we've embraced with them, he said. Those are the only conversations we've had. So there are so many things flying around about T-Man and about these conversations. It sounds a lot like, and it doesn't matter what side you're on. I hope that even some folks on the left spectrum are saying this is wrong. If you are, if you have something, you have to prove it 100%. You do not judge somebody before you actually see proof. You do not do things based on stuff like this. And this is happening to him a ton. And even if you hated his guts, you would think that most people would see that it's not right even if somebody's doing something wrong, if you're doing something wrong to fix it, two wrongs don't make a right. But I think people have lost sight of that. Now, depending on what ends up happening, we're still following this, but there are a lot of different things going on. Do you, Dex, do you have anything to say about this NATO deal here?
Well, I mean, we've got, tensions that are building in ME with the events after the Saudi oil fields. We've got tensions now building in Ukraine. We're two different fronts here, and they're, our adversaries, whether it's Russia or Russia-backed Ryan, right? So, yeah, there's a lot going on, and I mean, it wasn't just 6 months ago we had tensions in Venezuela. So I don't know, maybe that'll flare back up, but it seems like things are continuing to push and put more pressure in the regions where we just reported the other day about the potential tank deployments over there. So sort of aligns with it all too well.
See, with everything that's going on, like the caller that called in and said that there was a journalist on Twitter that legitimately broke some photos of different tanks having the identifier reflector bars put on them. And what those are put on there for is so planes from aerial positions can see, oh, those are our guys. They mark them in different ways so they know, hey, these are our guys, those are their guys. They can even do that in night if they shine a special light at it, or at least this is what I've heard. They'll shine a special light at it, and they'll be able to see theirs and the other enemies, but the other enemies usually do them in a different fashion. Same, with the enemies, us, both sides. I believe both sides of, everybody does it. They all mark it in a different way. That led into several emails from different people and saying that not only is this confirmed now, and that, by the way, that Twitter account was an independent journalist, I believe. He was focused on, political and geopolitical and exopolitical stuff. And man, that guy, good account. So the gentleman that suggested that was totally good call on that. And people, one of our top sources completely confirmed that and said, some of this stuff, I don't even know how he's, saying it. So on top of that, we have all sorts of weird things that we've shown you over the last few weeks, actually. We showed you that Sea Fleet Command was doing this 5-day exercise with all of its ships when normally they do an exercise of 2 or 3 ships. Sea Fleet Command is how they would get tanks somewhere if they were going to take all of our tanks, all of our transport stuff, everything that we need to transport bigger than, a box of bread, we need to take with the Sea Fleet. They were all drilling out of nowhere. I mean, there's I can't even name the amount of examples. In fact, you, the watchers, you can probably name 10 examples from the last 2 weeks of it's like the writing is on the wall, but nobody is seeing it. I mean, you guys are all super smart. We have one of the most incredible and most intelligent audiences here. If you're new here, talk to the people around you. People would assume that, we're all tinfoil hat wearers. Once you get in here, you meet doctors, lawyers, psychologists, even senators have watched the show. So it's pretty nuts to know that all of these things are going on at once. So please pay attention in the news cycle too. People say that I don't get the whole thing about, don't watch the MSM. You can watch the MSM, but you really shouldn't believe anything. You should take little parts of everything and you should compare it to 20 different MSM articles. Obviously, you're going to get 10 of them that are all the same, on the same baseline. And you're like, wow, they just copied and pasted and, tried to not be, tried to not plagiarize. So they moved to and from and, But on the other hand, there are, other countries. So what we do is we take, news from other countries and we try to find the common denominators and try to pull the truth out of that. So that's why I think a lot of people like this show, because the articles that we end up showing are not in total what we end up reading. I mean, we read, 100 to 200 articles and then bring it down to about 10. Sometimes we can't. We read so many and we're like, this one's important, this one's important, this one's important, and we'll end up having 20 articles. We've tried to cut it down to about, 8 to 12 a day, but man, there's so much going on, and I will tell you, we could do a 24-hour Marfoogle Network if we had the manpower, which, that's been talked about. Yeah, we need to bring more people on and grow the channel, and it would be pretty amazing. But with that being said, please pay attention to even the MSM. Pay attention to other countries' MSMs. Pay attention to independent. Pay attention to central, left, right, both sides, and then try to grasp what is going on. It's really, really getting heated up. It says the U.S. military is buying these small interceptor drones to knock down other drones. According to The Drive, it says a small California tech startup has reportedly begun supplying small, quote, hard kill attack drones to the U.S. military that are designed to bring down similarly sized hostile unmanned aircraft by physically smashing into them. The market within the United States and around the world for counter drone systems, ranging from electronic warfare jammers to directed energy weapons. So they just talked about lasers and directed energy weapons to fight drones. Directed energy weapons to suicide drones has exploded in recent years as the threats that even relatively cheap and diminutive unmanned aircraft pose has become a glaringly apparent threat. So this is a big deal. So this interceptor that they're talking about building is our own kind of kinetic impact type, take them down kind of drone. This just tells you that we are going to see in the future and in the near future, like probably this next year, in this year, or even in the next few months, somewhere in the country. I believe it's going to happen in the world, guaranteed. Like probably happen today. We don't know. But in this country, in the U.S., we have not heard, and I do not believe we've heard of this yet. Dex, you can correct me if you've heard of it. The audience, you can correct me if you've heard of it. A drone hooked up to something to attack people. We've seen this already in public. Dex, can you think of anything that is in this country? I know they tried to knock off people.
I saw it. I saw a homemade one in Ruski country, but no. Not anything professional.
No, I mean like Maduro, that was a drone threat. But now, even the United States, the drones that you can buy as a consumer. I have a Mavic Pro 2. That thing can lift a couple pounds. If that was combined with somebody, with a tennis ball, boom boom, then that would be a really, really scary situation. They could basically fly it into somebody with precision accuracy. What's even crazier, what I thought about? So all these drones, including the bigger ones, what they have is they have this feature that essentially when you fly them out as far as they can, as a safety feature, they have intelligent batteries. Now, this is really crazy. They have intelligent batteries, so you could fly it as far away as possible, maybe literally fly it for 10 minutes out. And we're talking about these drones fly miles, so 6, 7, 8 miles out, whatever. And then the battery knows when it's about to die. That thing will tell it, hey, in 10 seconds, if you don't push this button, it's going to fly home. And get this, you can even, change home digitally while you're walking around, whatever else. And then it comes back. Say you turn off the controller and it's 10 miles out. What it has is GPS, and it will actually come back to exactly where it took off, where it has marked or where you have marked that home, and it will land. Now, this is just a thought, but it would be incredibly easy for somebody to do an attack where they took it, raised it up with an explosive on it that had some sort of kinetic, trigger, have it go off, do its thing, or even have it flying 2 feet above, tie a kinetic, something with a trigger on the bottom, have it fly 10 miles out, and then drop the controller, turn off the controller, and just drive away. It would then automatically come back, it would drop, and it would explode. I believe we're going to see this, and I believe other people have thought of this as well. it's a very scary thought, but it will happen. And I think the United States has actually, not seen this yet. This is the next thing I predict. And watch, you guys are going to see next year, you're going to be like, wow, Adam called this. Also, chemicals placed on these drones. They are drilling all over the country for these chemical attacks. Vehicles running into stuff, blowing up. I've shown you that a couple weeks ago. If you do not watch this show regularly, we've talked about the actual real threats, including the one of today's Joker movie. Lots of crazy stuff. So make sure to go back and I definitely say people need to look at the stories that we are busting out here because it's insane. These interceptors, this is just a small piece that's going to show what everything is going towards. Undercover cops badly beaten as Hong Kong protesters rampage over anti-mask law. So they're not allowed to wear masks. It says the backlash to Carrie Lam's anti-mask law intensified late in the Hong Kong evening. So sorry, guys. Resulting in the entire MTR public transit network being closed down. Protesters are preparing what would be an illegal demonstration on Saturday as they march from Causeway Bay into downtown. So, it says the organizer of the protests are encouraging demonstrators to wear Halloween masks in a show of defiance. However, legal experts familiar with Hong Kong's colonial-era laws said that the edict will likely be extraordinarily difficult to enforce and that a challenge in the courts could result in the ban being thrown out. It says as midnight approached on Friday's HK High Court, it says court was still hearing two activist applications to have anti-mask law thrown out. Counsel for the government insisted that Lam had already explained the need for the law to combat escalating public violence associated with the demonstrations. So, they're essentially saying that you cannot cover your face, which I don't think that could ever be done here now that they've passed all these laws saying you can cover your face because of all these different laws for different countries, different religions are coming out, getting ingrained into our country. As you guys know, there's a lot of things that are changing over there. I don't see this lasting too long unless they just fully don't care about all of this. So lots of things still happening over there. I mean, this is months. Imagine if this happened in our country and multiple other countries too. So this is one of the main stories because I believe that this is a very freaky fact. Sweden hides their warships in vast underground bunker amid growing fears of threat from Russia. So these bunkers are built into the mountains of Stockholm. It says the vast Cold War complex on Muskö, about 25 miles from Stockholm, features cavernous underground docks that can shelter warships, miles of tunnels, offices, and hospital, and was built to survive a nuclear attack. The top secret base was completed in 1969 and has not been fully operational for 25 years. But Sweden has decided it's time to return to the granite-encased base as it builds up defense in response to the perceived threat from Moscow. This is a big deal for them to not only get it up, they're spending the money, they're actually beefing it up. It says Swedish Naval Command said that the new location would offer greater freedom of maneuver for its maritime defense operations. It says head of communications for the Swedish Navy said the Muskö base is unique from a fortification perspective. It is an underground area as big as the old town in Stockholm. So this is a country that's straight up saying we're putting not only our military underground, but we have a small city that is actually going to be in operation right now. Why? They're saying they're putting their people, or they're going to have a base that's big enough to carry a ton of people into operation. I mean, this is like writing on the wall all over the place. Now, Dex, can I ask you, isn't Sweden one of the places that has kind of a reputation for kind of being, they're not the neutral one, right? I know Switzerland.
That's Switzerland.
Switzerland is neutral, but what is Sweden? Like, who are they? Our ally, or are they neutral?
Well, they're certainly our ally, but yeah, they're part of Europe, and they're part of our allies.
So Sweden, our ally, is putting their entire navy underground. Not only that, they're basically getting this underground base that hasn't been used in 25 years, and they're pumping it back up. The U.S. is going to be spending $2.8 billion on smallpox vaccines. All these things are just kind of weird that they're coming out. Smallpox is eradicated, by the way, or at least that's what they said. In fact, it was only stored in 2 locations. One of them had a weird mystery disappearance, and the other one had an explosion that blew up and supposedly possibly had a theft go on. So somebody might have stole something out of that second lab. One in Russia, one in the USA. And now they have a base underground because of fears of Russia. It says the armed forces need to adapt their operations to meet the challenges posed by the deteriorating external environment. The deteriorating external environment. Yeah, this is weird. Sweden's navy is being moved to an underground fortress. It is just so creepy. I mean, these things are huge. These are huge cavernous holes into the mountain. I wonder if they have a door that closes it off. And I actually tweeted out earlier, I said, does this not make you want to play the original Bond game? They had a level that I swear was actually modeled after the Sweden underground bases. It really was. I don't know if you guys remember it, but there was these, submarine kind of cavernous tunnels that you would walk over the submarine on a little bridge. And then it had all these hallways it looked like you were basically underground. So it's pretty strange. And they have a pretty beefy presence there. So, geez. It says the fleet spokesman said the crews of the deck-based KA-27PL anti-submarine warfare helicopters, KA-29 shipborne combat and transport rotorcraft, and Mi-24 gunships from a Baltic Fleet naval aviation formation accomplished combat exercises during their training flights to overcome the air defenses of a group of the notional enemy's combat ships and deliver bombing and rocket strikes. The helicopter's crews approached the targets from different directions while maneuvering by their speed, altitude to complicate the airstrike's repulsion by the adversary warships. So this was also that was from their drills. This is just insanity. So what do you guys think about that? I would love to hear what you think about the Swedish Navy going underground and opening up a base that, if nothing's going on, they wouldn't spend the money to get this thing fully operational and put their entire Navy in it. And if you had something like that, why wouldn't you keep just doing that? Like, why would you ever retire that kind of thing? And why would you bring it back? Susan Donahue, the linchpin to their evil plans is 5G. Please pray for a major lightning storm, even an EMP. Even 1 to 3, after 1 to 3 days without tech and signals around us, the spell will be broken. Please pray for humanity. Susan, chilling comment, and thank you so much for your support. I hope you saw my message as well. I just wanted to say thank you. None of that is necessary. I appreciate you. JPC Log has subscribed. Thank you. About an hour ago. 25 minutes ago, we had Starfishy and Modern Vintage Boutique, Stringfish 100, Leon Connor, My Smiling Spirit 11, Ryan Goodwin, and Sven and Joshua Wright just subscribed in the last hour. Thank you guys. And as always, if you subscribe during the show, you will get a shout out. A big shout out to April Osborne. Much love to you again. Bird Crazy, Freya 162, watchwoman for Jesus. Thank you guys for all just being awesome people and helping others. Okay, let's see. It says Russia is helping China build a new missile attack warning system, Putin says. Russian President Vladimir Putin, whatever. It says Russia is helping China build a new missile attack warning system. Russian President Vladimir Putin announced Thursday. Neither Putin nor Russia's major weapons manufacturer, which confirmed the deal on Friday, revealed any further details about the system or conditions of the agreement or when it might be operational. It says, quote, "We are currently helping our Chinese partners to create a missile attack warning system. It's a serious thing that will drastically increase the defense capabilities of the People's Republic of China," Putin announced at a political conference on Sochi on Thursday. Then the quote also included, "Right now, only the U.S. and Russia have such systems." So they are essentially bringing China up to speed on the missile kind of alert system. That is not a good sign. You know, I just kind of wonder, Dex, do you ever think that Russia and China would be happy on this earth if we just disappeared?
Do you ever, if they want us to disappear, or if they want to overpower us,
enslave us?
Yeah.
We've
got a lot of resources.
Have us
we could provide.
Follow their rules.
Exactly.
You know, and on one point too, like we're not exactly, you know, some people say like, oh, you say Russia is so bad and whatever else. I don't. I think we're all bad. To be honest, I think that I think if you know kind of the truth about what's going on with all of the governments, I think they're all doing kind of a very similar thing. So keep in mind, Dex, you've got what do you call it? The phone system is going through. So I don't know if that's something you can take care of.
Okay, it's not me, but I'll fix it.
Okay, all right. And let's see here. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about them helping China so much? They're also dealing directly with China. This is just off the side. We actually covered this about 6 or 7 months ago. They have been offering free land to China if China takes that land and grows soy. It's essentially something, one of the very few things that they actually, China depends on us as an export. As an import from, or an export from us. And by them giving them some parts of Siberia, I guess, or some parts of Russia, they're actually giving them land for free if they, want to farm on it. They're essentially trying to make it so they don't need us in the picture. I've said that multiple times. Mystery ring-shaped object floats past ISS just like infamous UFO sighting. So this is pretty crazy. It says a baffling object the shape of a ring has been filmed passing the International Space Station, and some think it could be the, quote, craft that's spotted in a famous incident 23 years ago. The footage, captured on the ISS live feed, shows 2 separate cameras from the station. In the bottom one, a bright ring makes its way across the screen. The clip is fuzzy, but a YouTube user managed to zoom in and show how it seems to be a fully formed circular object. Conspiracy site of Sound, Mind, and Body shared the footage, originally spotted by Tom Brown in January 2019, to his YouTube channel last week. So this is the object, apparently, and no, if you're saying I can't even see it, it's so too pixelated, that's what I'm seeing too. Even in the best quality is like makes it look like a 8-bit video game like Super Mario. So I don't know. That's definitely almost a perfect circle. But is that an effect of the camera that's in space? I don't know. It says one of the most notable things here is that it very closely resembles the type of object seen in the Tether incident in 1996. The Tether incident relates to an incident 23 years ago where NASA astronauts were monitoring a satellite breaking off the space shuttle of Columbia. When they were filming the satellite, it appeared to be swarmed by hundreds of ring-shaped UFOs swarming like organisms in the sea. Some have dismissed, that's actually kind of weird. What if, oh my gosh. So what if they did something, it says when they were filming the satellite, it appeared to be swarmed by hundreds of ring-shaped UFOs swarming like organisms in the sea. What if 26 years ago or in 96, they actually were in like an underwater pool doing their, what if they did some, video tricks or something and made it look like they're doing a thing in space, but they were actually in a pool. I don't know. That's just super weird. But it says, but conspiracy theorists are adamant that it is conclusive proof that alien spaceships are in space monitoring the ISS and Earth. I don't know. It looks like a big donut. I guess that's the 1996 Tether incident. I don't know. Maybe, maybe it was super small. UFO hunters will use metal from crashed spacecraft to learn alien tech secrets. The new footage has unsurprisingly generated a huge amount of debate online. Could it be the missing white hole? One asked before adding, an alien? A space donut? The world will never know. Super, super, super important, right? This is what everybody is getting in a frenzy about. I do think that people are starting to see government ships. I think that that's happening now, and a lot of people are, that's a whole other show in itself. Hepatitis A breaks out, flares up across the U.S. So it says Florida Department of Health workers went to a motel in St. Petersburg to distribute free hepatitis A vaccinations. I said the V word, dang it. This is something that scares you, and then when these people come in, it's like, oh yeah, I want it. Hepatitis A outbreaks are erupting across the U.S., reversing a long-term decline in the cases of the viral liver disease and prompting state health departments to mount an aggressive vaccination campaign. Since outbreaks of the virus began in 2016, 30 states have reported cases totaling more than 26,000, including 268 deaths. Most cases of hepatitis A in the past years were caused by tainted food, but the virus is transmitted when a person ingests food or water contaminated with the feces of someone who is infected. Wow, that's so gross. How does that even happen? I mean, that would be like at a restaurant and somebody prepared your food. It says, but now outbreaks are larger and driven in part by the opioid epidemic that has swept the country in the past few decades. Public health officials say cases also are occurring among users of other drugs, including those who share contaminated needles, people who are homeless, and men who have sex with men. It says, what we are seeing today is really unusual, said Neil Gupta. It says that he's an expert at the hepatitis and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And it says, quote, the general public tends to think about hepatitis A as transmitted by restaurants. That's not what is going on now. The disease usually can be treated with rest and fluids, but many patients require hospitalization, and in some cases, it can be fatal. Fladle. I think I just said fladle. Like that's a fake ladle. It's just a spoon, ma'am. It's not a ladle. Ebola crisis worsens. Never thought I would read that in a sentence. Threatening Tanzania, but new vaccine appears effective. Do you notice how much this word is being used in everything? It's everywhere. 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 And you know what's crazy is that, you know, for a fact that since I said that 2 times, just the other day, somebody says all these other channels are getting taken down and why not Marf? First off, almost, you know, a lot of our videos get through, but almost, I would say 1 in 3, 1 in 4, we have to constantly change things around on our titles or in our things because it gets marked. We are very careful here at Marfoogle TV. That's why we say Ryak and Ryan and DT or President T-Man. It's not like I like saying these things. And people go, well, who cares? It's all about monetization. Blah, blah, blah. It is. Yes, the money is great if it doesn't go away or if it's not zero, but it's not even that. I've explained many times since April of last year, they changed the entire platform. If your video is not monetized, it therefore is not shared. How you got here, if it wasn't that you're a hardcore watcher, it would be in your suggested. To get you in that suggested, they're not going to suggest a video that doesn't have any ads unless you are subscribed. And even if you're subscribed, you would have to click all notifications and then you will see that. Because in the Foogle family, a lot of people still aren't monetized. So you will get little notifications, but you have to be subscribed. You don't just find some small channel, so say, you know, WV or whatever, you might not find her at all unless somebody shouts her out. So again, with this word, you know what is going on by what you can't talk about. And you can't talk about this word. This word on this entire platform is a huge bing, 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 bing. Somebody asked me, and I'm like, first of all, there was people that called into my show. One of them was, I don't even know what his channel is called now, but he had, and I'll just shout you out right now, Disciple Heart. There was Disciple David. He did like 3 different channels. He got taken down 3 times. And when we first called in, he's like, I don't get it. I just got my channel taken down. He put FF in the title, like Fantastic Freddy, you know, FF, you know, G, is it? Or G unit, Ezowitz. That word, boom, done. V, this word, done. I mean, they knock you out quick. It doesn't matter what size. They knock you out from underneath. So that's why we're careful about the words we say. There's no point in making a video, especially a news video, if it's not going to get out to people. We're trying to reach the biggest audience possible. And just because I don't say that word or I say it differently, I make sure you know what that word is. So we're communicating. We just have to do it carefully. And it's getting worse, folks. You guys need to fight, not only for, you know, people like us. All the channels you are watching, they all have to change their ways to work around this. And if they don't, they just disappear. It says the most recent and ongoing devastating outbreak of Ebola in Central Africa, raging since August of 2018, has claimed over 2,000 lives and resulted in 3,000 confirmed infections, according to the World Health Organization. Who? Sorry, that was bad. And perhaps most alarming are recent new reports of possible Ebola deaths in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, at the major international port there. A surprising development given the WHO did not even rank Tanzania as one of the most vulnerable countries for an outbreak. Those listed are Burundi, Rwanda, South Sudan, and Uganda, based on reported cases near busy border crossings. This after in early summer, it spread from the worst-hit Congo to neighboring Uganda, resulted in multiple deaths, including a child. This is a very, very scary disease, and of course, we have had several times where it's popped over. One thing that really kind of, you know, chills, you know, raises my hair up is I guarantee you they've had more cases come over here than we even know about. They keep that stuff on the low. I guarantee you there's more people coming from these countries that actually have brought it through. Who knows? There could have been 20 infected in New York, and we would never know about it. They would have just literally, you know, quieted that whole thing down and you know, covered that stuff up. It says the latest reports out of Tanzania have resulted in rare travel advisories issued by the US and UK governments urging citizens to, quote, be aware of probable Ebola-related deaths in the East African country. The move follows an unusual statement from WHO last weekend, which rebuked the Tanzanian government amid suspicion that cases of the devastating hemorrhagic diseases were being covered up. That's what scares me, is I know not only them, not only these other places, they're covering them up. Because who wants to go to a place with that? Especially if we found out, say a certain resort had different diseases, or that's there was problems there. Nobody wants to know that, right? And I'm not talking about here. Nobody goes to Uganda really for tourism. Like that's not a tourist spot. It's more of like a missionary spot. I don't know though. I could be wrong. Maybe they have a senior frogs or something. I don't know. Froggo, or I don't know what they would call it. But it is definitely worse than what they say. Now, this is regarding the Joker movie. If you saw the show that we did the other day, talking about how there was a very serious threat online about the Joker movie and about somebody going there and going pop, 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 pop. So several places actually closed. They did not either open or they did not play the movie. Or like the Aurora movie theater, which was famous for the guy dressed as Joker going for that movie release, and he, bang, bang, banged a bunch of people. It says, threat targeting Joker screening forces Huntington Beach Theater to close, Los Angeles Times. It says a movie theater in Huntington Beach showing the film Joker was closed late Thursday after a threat was reported to police. It says officers were sent about 5 p.m. to the Century Huntington Beach and XD Theater in the Bella Terra Shopping Center at 777 Eddington Avenue. The theater stopped showing all films scheduled to run after 4:45 p.m., according to a schedule posted on its website. Police did not describe the nature of the threat or how it was reported. It was immediately clear whether showings would resume at the theater Friday. We took the threat seriously and were investigating, said Officer Angela Bennett, a spokesperson for the Huntington Beach Police Department. Whew. That's actually kind of weird. So the theater stopped showing all films scheduled to run after 4:45 p.m. They were sent at 5. Moviegoer Luis Cervantes of Fountain Valley was planning to see, quote, Joker at the theater last Thursday and was disappointed when he arrived to find the theater closed. He's a fan of the actor Joaquin Phoenix, who plays the Joker in the film, and had good reviews of the movie leading up to the opening day. It says, quote, I was excited to see it, so I'm kind of bummed out right now, Cervantes told a reporter outside the theater. Joker, directed by Todd Phillips, has sparked controversy over its violent portrayal of a man who would become known as one of Gotham City's most twisted villains. If you actually see the preview of the movie, it looks quite twisted and quite dark. Again, the film's release has stirred anxieties over possible threats of violence at theaters. 7 years ago, a gunman killed 12 people at a movie theater in Aurora, Colorado during a screening of the 2012 Batman film The Dark Knight Rises. And of course, that one was the one with the Joker. Really creepy stuff. Honestly, the thing was supposed to come out, I want to say today. I know they had early screenings, but I would still be very careful if you're going to the movie theater. NYPD monitoring subway surveillance cameras to help combat homeless problem. Yeah, right. It says the NYPD will now be observing over 100 MTA subway surveillance cameras as part of the efforts to combat the city's homeless problem. The NYPD will now be observing over 100 of them, and it says the program will be run out of the Joint Crisis Coordination Center. Really? The Joint Crisis Coordination Center in downtown Brooklyn. The list of stations that will be monitored has not been released, but officials say they are targeting, quote, quality of life and public safety concerns like sleeping below subway platforms and avoiding paying fares. The initiative comes after Governor Andrew Cuomo called on the MTA to add 500 new transit cops to its ranks. However, the program has its critics, some of whom say it's attempting to tackle a complicated problem in the wrong way. Just investing in some kind of surveillance system in the subways seems totally disconnected from the continuum of services we actually should be investing in, said City Councilman Stephen Levin. It's really up to us as a city to re-examine this issue. So, one question for you guys. One question for you guys. What do you think about this? Do you think they're actually doing it for the homeless? So they're spending a ton of money for a new surveillance system when, that's just to watch people closer. I don't think that's a very good use of money for homeless. I'm actually an advocate to helping homeless. Levin says the city should be investing in safe havens and affordable housing instead of more police. And as far as safe havens, I don't know. I do know that they did a program here that actually worked, and it's crazy and it costs a whole lot of money, but it was actually pretty effective. And what happened is they basically gave these homeless folks a place to live, and that included some folks that were addicted to drugs, all sorts of things. Some were alcoholics. Get this. This is what was crazy about it. Imagine this scenario, a 10-floor building, and everybody has an apartment in it, including, these folks that you probably see on the street and, you're like, that guy looks like he's homeless. Well, these guys would be put in there, in these houses, given an apartment, and get this. They would come down, go to a little window, kind of like a window where you'd pay for a ticket, and they would say, hey, can I get 4 today? And they have an allotment of what they can drink or based on their own problem or what they can do. And say alcohol is actually given to them. So they would give them a 4-pack of beers or a 6-pack of beers, or they would basically give them one at a time. And what they found is that when these folks were not homeless, and that when they had a safe place to live, when they had access to all this stuff, they didn't actually want it. It was like a huge, huge percentage. It was over 70% that drank less, and some of them even got sober, got jobs, and got out on their own. It's pretty crazy, but honestly, I think that they should start looking at really crazy ways to fix this. But as far as spending a ton of money and feeding them, people said, you're crazy, but the program actually worked. But they did it in a special way. Maybe it was the people that were working there. I don't know. But as far as these surveillance systems, I don't think that they're for the homeless. I think they're for us. Just my thoughts. If you guys disagree, please give me a call. 224-400-MARF. Okay. Whoa. Okay. So you're an illegal immigrant. What? $250,000? Apparently, that's what I might be fined if I go to New York City and say that same word. You can now be fined $250,000 for saying this phrase in New York City. If you can be, it says you can now be fined $250,000 in New York City for using the term illegal alien in a negative way, according to the new guidance from the city's Commission on Human Rights. This applies to landlords, employers, in public accommodations. So if a landlord says, I can't rent to illegal aliens, or a prospective employer says, I can't hire you because you're an illegal alien, you could be facing a $250,000 fine. $250,000 fine. You illegal alien. This is the most absurd. Do we have a beep sound, Dex? Beep. I've ever heard. Dex, you're the one who found this. This is nuts.
This is the first part of speech fines I've seen. I can't think of anything else other than, the laws on hate speech. But in this, like an actual fine for saying something, that's.
What about freedom of speech? I don't
know.
I don't understand how they can both exist. It's just really sad where our country is going. And these little tiny subtle little movements are what are actually changing everything. So, it's a very scary place right now, and I just don't understand it. Oh, man. Either way, so we're going to get into stuff. What do you think about that? Do you think that they should ever fine somebody for saying anything? Even if that word that they are using is absolutely horrible? Do you think that they should be able to actually fine you? All right, so let's get into it. We're going to be opening up the phones here in a second. I will have to tell you right now, looks like we're already pretty much loaded up. So I'm going to do my normal announcements. Please, if you guys want to help support me, you guys can do so by getting an EMP shield. By getting an EMP shield, you also protect yourself against EMPs. Not only that, you also protect yourself against a coronal mass injection. The EMP shield is the world's first EMP protection technology for your entire home and vehicles and solar systems and everything else. I mean, they literally make a version of this for everybody. They make one for a generator as well, RV, and even a ham radio. So if you want to support us, go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. We get a commission of each sale, but also they give you an additional discount if you go through us. So go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. These are not only tested for military standards, they are used by the DoD, and the EMP shield is actually helping the Homeland Security and the DoD correct our grid vulnerability. EMP shield has now teamed up with Klarna just because of our audience, and that makes it so there is an actual option which will require no money up front and is interest free and breaks it up into 4 installments. Because these things are a real deal Holyfield protection against this. So say if you have one on your generator, say an EMP hits, and then a second EMP, and then a third EMP, and a fourth EMP. It will ground the signal before it has time to fry your device. So this is like a no-brainer. If you end up doing this, you can save your house, your home, your solar system, every device. And again, if you're going to bug out and you don't have a car to go bug out, then you probably should think of it now. Again, the vehicle one, so your car won't be dead if an EMP or a solar flare hits. They are made in America, so please go and support them. They help the family a lot as far as like actually talking one-on-one with a lot of different people, helping people. April Osborne can actually tell you, she is the one, they heard about her story and actually personally reached out and gave her one. She's actually due to do her, I think you already did your last chemo. So I didn't even know about that. I found out about that when I was doing my meeting with the groups. So these guys do stuff not to be advertised. They never told anybody about that. So anyways, these guys are really great. Andrew's part owner, a lot of those guys, they'll talk to you. They'll answer any questions. They'll guide you to the military testing. These things are legit. That's why the government is using them. Anyways, to get through that, also just want to make sure everybody knows. Let's see here. Nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone that helps this show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. That is why it is so important that we get this, that we have this platform where we can talk. You guys can, debate the validity of any mainstream story that we might show, any independent story that we might show, or any picture that we show. You guys can actually give your evidence, give it to Dex, and then we can show it on the show and see what people think. And if you have not subscribed to the main channel, Marfoogle News, it is now at over 144,000, closing in at 145,000. It doesn't show it because they changed the way they show it. And then we are closing in on 91,000 subscribers. So if you guys could, over on this channel, tell a couple friends about it. So here's really easy. Go to marfoogle.news, and it will automatically take you to Marfoogle News. And it will even just, boom, right there, so you can subscribe with one typing in of marfoogle.news. And then, of course, this channel, if you want to share it out. So this is for you guys that actually do try to share out their channel. For the folks that have done stickers, for the people that have done printouts, this is the easiest way to do it. Because when they type that in, it actually, if they're not subscribed, it will automatically go to a little window that says subscribe to Marfoogle News or subscribe to marfoogle.tv. Okay, and then, of course, the Discord groups. If you guys have not joined, these are the groups I'm talking about. This is what is so important. This is more important than the show itself. This is you guys meeting in person and prepping, talking about prep, talking about what you would do in the case of a real emergency. And I'm talking about an emergency on the scale of Hurricane Katrina and larger. We are going to have the Cascadia subduction zone. At some point, we're going to have the New Madrid go off. We are going to have Yellowstone go off. We are going to have all of this. Eventually, all of these things will happen, and civilization is built right on top of them. So you all need to be prepared for the craziest things. And of course, why I say that is, everybody depends on the military to just come save you. But we've seen in those kind of instances, the military literally drops their stations and they go and save their own family. When it's that bad, don't depend on somebody else. Depend on, yourself and your family and a close-knit group of friends that are around you. Because, again, you might not want to see what military intervention is. You might go, hey, they're saving us. And they might just put you in a cell to control and to fix the situation. Now, again, there's also an exclusive military channel, and for former and current military folks, somebody just did something about they supposedly said a fan of the show had stolen valor, yet I tried to watch what these people were showing me, and it didn't really make any sense because the person never said the name of my show. So I was totally confused about what that was, but here's the thing. That doesn't fly over here, and a lot of people said that on that video. We have actually booted anyone who even came close to stolen valor, not only out of the Discord, but out of the Facebook, out of every single group we run. They're out. Once you go stolen valor, you never come back. So don't do it. If you do get into the military group, there's a lot of people in there that, you can talk about. You can talk freely in there. I don't even go in there because I'm not ex-military. So you have a kind of a private area. You can talk to other military folks. MarfoogleNews.com. Sign up for the Marfoogle alerts. And again, another way to support us is you can actually, if you want to find out more about the earthing products that we have with Clint Ober. Again, we're very transparent. We've told you since day one, we want to work with American companies, and we want to work with companies that we actually believe in and that we use. This, we actually get a commission off of each sale. And this works. This is something that a lot of people have been doing for decades. What it's called is earthing or grounding. And essentially, you plug this mat into the wall, into the actual ground plug, and it actually grounds you. We are electricity, our hearts, our brains, everything. This isn't some sort of like as seen on TV thing. This is real. And the coolest part is, if you don't have the money to buy the products, you can just walk outside and go barefoot in your lawn and actually have the same benefits. But the cool thing about these is obviously not everybody can stand barefoot out in their lawn all day. For the people that, want to have a nice night's sleep, you can essentially sleep on your nice, comfy bed that, who knows, you might have spent $2,000 to sleep well and your body's not even functioning right. This you can put on underneath, get all the benefits of grounding and actually having all of your ions, everything just flowing. It reduces inflammation, pain. It's so amazing for sleep, and be sleeping on your nice, comfy bed. Go to marfooglenews.com/earthing and then use the code MH for Mural Hemingway. This helps support us. We're trying to bring on 2 more people, and we are trying to get to 1 million this year, which is probably not going to happen. But we got 1/15 of the way. So I'm pretty proud. marfooglenews.com/earthing. Free shipping with the code MH. Free shipping with the code MH. All right. And if you want to support a charity, go over to marfooglenews.com and end up going over and go to /t-shirts. All these designs, what we're going to end up doing is that will go towards a charity. Now, nobody really picked out one, so we're just going to pick one and end up doing it. So make sure to go check out the designs. They are really badass, and it's turning something negative into something positive. As far as the Love Mob, we actually do have somebody or a couple people to Love Mob tonight, and I hope you guys all participate. It really does change lives, and it has made a difference, a huge difference in a lot of different people. So, all right. Well, with that being said, I think that we are all good. All right. All right. Let's see here. We're going to open up the phone. The number, of course, is 224400-MARF. Welcome Jasmine Johnson, Jessica Lamonda, Rage Monster, Barbara Donica, Sherry Lynn Brummett for joining the channel. As always, if you subscribe during the show, you will get a shout out. And apparently welcome Iggy Loves Pen 15. I think that's a weird screen name, but that's all good. Oh, we lost him. Pretty funny, though. Anders Ond. Isn't that the guy from Workaholics? Boom, boom. Truthflix. That's the name of the channel. Hey, what's up? This is Disciple David, which I guess your channel goes by Truthflix. I was just talking about you in the beginning of the show.
Yeah, I heard you. Yeah, I'm that guy that had to be the Wicker Man they had to burn.
Yeah, so just to explain though too, so I was gonna use you, but then I forgot about the third name, like the current name, in my tweet. Mm-hmm. So people go, why are channels like yours getting taken down, and why doesn't mine get touched? You obviously didn't the one thing that people can't say about your other 2 channels was that you were, filtering yourself at all. I think you put some pretty serious things.
I talk about stuff that will get you taken down. And in fact, now even how I am able to talk about it still is I got to be very careful. And I've learned from you of my words, saying the FF word, is definitely a big hit. That's going to go ahead and do you wrong. But if you make a video showing any person's or any children's face that you may consider to be an FF event, and you show their face, even whether they didn't die or not, it doesn't matter.
Yep, exactly. So there's a whole list of kind of combiners, because it's not just one thing. It's like they look at it and they go, has it put this word and, a picture of this in the video, and they'll just get rid of it. So you lost not one, but 2 channels, right?
Yeah. Yep. Man, but hey, I do appreciate it that you helped me build up the both times, man. And here I am for my last time, and I'm doing pretty good, though. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I try to stay my toes, though, I'm trying to go ahead and be careful about what I say. That's
what I'm saying. You can still communicate. Everybody pretty much knows what we're talking about, or we'll show the word on the TV. We show you, but you just can't, that's why I say, what's the point of a channel if it keeps getting deleted? Yeah,
you're just not going to reach anybody then, just going to be harder to reach out.
Exactly. So, but, that's why we don't get kicked off. I mean, we watch it. I mean, it's pretty hard too. We have to kind of, if somebody has a subject they want to talk about, that's why Dex has to go
number one,
make sure not to say it.
I think what you've been doing, though, and helping us build our channels, this is the way we need to do it. If we're going to be YouTube, it's not going to be just from them even being able to promote us, because even you getting promoted somewhat, like by not hitting those keywords, that's still not great. Like you're going to get much better promotion when you have everybody else that backs you up and shares your content, and we do the promotion ourselves. Once we do that and we're self-promoting ourselves, they can't hurt us.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, especially if you have somebody big, you
don't
need them.
Do better is because, hey, you have a Discord, and so do I. I have my own Discord. My Discord gives me more views than almost anything, and so does yours.
Yep, and they know where the sources are coming from too. So this is Truthflix. So we'll send over as many people want to end up going over here. Truthflix, if there's one thing to be said, he talks about the very controversial stuff. He has been deleted not once, not twice, but almost a third time. And now I guess this channel is kind of, you've been very careful with this one. But his original channel was careful. Disciple David. So
anyways, to
the topic.
Go ahead. All right, so I want to talk about brain-computer interfaces and this new one that they're coming out. Elon Musk, a little while back, he came out and finally unveiled that news that most of us have been waiting, because he said that he was going to do it this year, and he did. He came out and talked about his neural lace and about them trying to go ahead and make it public for everybody, right? Well, that's going to be invasive still. They're talking about it requires brain surgery and this and that. Well, now these people, they're trying to get us all to take the mark of the beast. They're trying to make this thing so that people want to take it. And it's really less invasive the new way. They got this way that they can plug it into your jugular, like basically like a USB, so that they can make these tentatrils go into your nervous system that way, and then avoid having to get brain surgery. They're just doing all they can at the moment to really push this, because obviously this is where the whole system is going for electronic currency, and to no longer have IDs. This is why they're doing the Smart ID Act, and they're doing all this stuff to push people into this electronic grid to where you can no longer get out.
Now, do you want me to play a part of this? I have a timestamp of 1:16.
Sure, yeah, you can get go right there and then start playing. And that's where, and that has uncopyrighted music and everything, so it'll be all good.
Okay, cool. You got it from, I'm assuming you got it from the Creator Studio or whatever?
Yeah, Creative Commons or whatever.
Okay, all right. I'm going to play this right now. Let's see.
Hi guys, this is David, disciple of the Lord Jesus Christ, brother, if you've been baptized in Jesus' name for the remission of sins, and have received the gift of the Holy Ghost, speaking with tongues as the Spirit gives the utterance. So guys, if you like this content, go ahead and subscribe, and please hit the bell for the notifications. And if you want to be a part of our Discord server, we have a Discord server where we have real-time communication and link posting and information sharing. If you guys want to be a part of it, you're more than welcome. We also have live chat in there, but let's get right into this, guys. So Elon Musk, he earlier this year came out talking about his neural lace, right? That they were going to go ahead and be making an announcement pretty soon here that they were going to go ahead and be unveiling it so that people can buy it. Well, there's been a breakthrough in, say, the way that they're able to institute these brain-computer interfaces. Here's this article today that says, this brain computer uses the jugular like a USB cable. A new way to insert neural implants doesn't require brain surgery. So folks, anybody that, that was like, these people that don't believe in God or don't really care, these atheists, that wouldn't have a problem becoming a half robot, it's going to make them want to go ahead and do this more now because it's going to be less invasive. Now it's not going to require them having to have brain surgery. So they're more than likely they're going to take it. The mark of the beast is being made more pleasant to the eye and more pleasant to the mind of how they'll institute it. Let's read on in this article. It says, devices that would allow people to connect their brains directly to the computers are getting a lot of attention from Silicon Valley lately. Last week, Facebook acquired the startup Control Labs, which is developing a mind-reading wristband. And July, Elon Musk, Neuralink, unveiled details about its brain chip, which the company eventually wants to embed in the brain through a quick procedure it compares to LASIK. But Facebook and Neuralink plan to merge people with their devices will likely take several years to materialize. Wearables, like the Control Labs is developing, rely on weaker neural signals, thus have shown less precise control. Brain implants promise more accuracy and require highly specialized brain surgery. A pose and a risk to patients.
So I'm going to turn you back up here, David.
Yeah.
No, I know this stuff is so scary. So I wanted to play that through so people could kind of get a taste of your channel. One just piece of small advice that I learned kind of early on is I always try to listen to my own stuff before I post with music, only because when you're doing it through YouTube, you don't really know how hard.
It might be too loud.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not even that bad, but you're the same. I did it a lot. If you go back to my old videos, I did it all the time, and people would go, the music was too loud. That in that case, it was just that it was equal. I would just say, have it a little bit lower so they can hear you more. Because what you're saying is the most important part. But with the editing software and stuff, sometimes it's hard to hear because everybody listens to it a different way. If somebody's listening to it on their phone, they might not hear it. Anyways, great video though, and I like your style. I like how you're doing it. Now, this is scary stuff. If you guys want to head over to Disciple, now he's Truthflix. It's just crazy. I mean, like, this is your third channel now, but he's already up to 1,500, so he's doing something right. It's Truthflix, all one word. And I'm just trying to zoom in here on here so you guys know how to spell it. Truthflix, all one word, which is a great freaking name. Like I've said before, surprised that, there's probably a lot of them, I think, but yours was easy to find. So Truthflix, all one word. Thank you for calling in, and please call in again, right?
Sure. And can I just end this by saying that Jordy Rose said that, this thing is going on and nobody is paying attention. There's all these other events that have been happening and nobody's watching this system get built in the background. I mean, we are, but not, it gets swept in the rug and hardly thought about. Like, I was the only one that covered this article at the moment when it came out because nobody was even looking up brain computer interfaces at the time, and it was just pushed out like it was nothing and nobody really looked at it.
Well, we've covered the brain interface, but yeah, I've never heard of this new one that you can just put in your jugular. That's nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff, man. But hey, thanks for having me, and you guys have the rest of the show. I'll be watching. All right. Bye.
All right. Have a good day. God bless. Let's see here. Up next, we have Stiletto. Stiletto, you are live on Marfoogle TV. What's going on?
Hi, Marf. How are you doing?
Absolutely great. It's lovely to talk to you.
You too. Well, I think I have some information that everybody would like to hear, or at least I thought it was relevant. I have a friend that works at the CDC, and luckily he got a little fizzy and spilled a little bit. I've been gently working on him forever. But he told me that there was an illness that was coming back. So I asked him, is it an old illness? Because I was trying to be vague. And he just came right out with it and said, leprosy's coming back. And yeah, that's an old disease. I mean, that's from the biblical days. That's ancient. And it's still around, but it's supposed to be really rare. And I thought it was hard to catch. But I guess there's a new strain, or it's adapted. and it's supposed to be more lethal in a virulent form, and it's supposed to start emerging pretty soon.
And where is this going to emerge?
And not only that,
where is it going to emerge?
That's what I'm wondering. I think, now this is my thinking, would probably be around the south, and then south and also the east, but I really don't know. That's just from my own, like, Googling today. So I don't really know. But one thing that he did say that I thought was kind of strange, for this to be so rare and everything, he said to overcome the anti-V word, they already have the antidote and they're stocking up. They're making it to meet the demand, the future demand. I didn't think there was really a V word thing for that, but I looked it up, and the person who invented the V word won a Nobel Prize in medicine in like 1988. So I guess there is a V word for leprosy.
God,
but I guess they're trying to get something into us. Yeah, because he said if they don't take the V word, they're going to catch the disease, and they'll take the antidote. So they make all three.
God.
The V word.
The people that get it are just scary. Can you hear me?
And I think it's targeted. Yes, I think it's targeted more towards the young ones, the children, because he said, parents, when they see their kids sick, they're going to stop at nothing to get, the cure or the antidote. And really,
it's a
just
scary
disease. Whatever they're trying to get into you. Yes. Yeah. There's a big stigma with it. And imagine socially the stigma that all the parents would get. Oh, you didn't V-word your children, and now look at what you've done. So that would put more trust into the science community and less trust in the CT, community.
It's just so weird that people have a specific look. They actually look a certain way because I think something happens to their eyes as well, like their pupils, or they have kind of some sort of whatever you call it, but it has a very specific
you
thing.
Can see that's right, the skin and everything, and it's supposed to be transmitted through the air, and of course we all have heard about how they could put things in plane farts, that just kind of what are you going to do?
Oh, that's creepy.
I thought maybe he was talking about a different illness because of, remember a long time ago in Oregon, I guess it was Operation OX, where they put up points of dispensing mass medicine.
I don't know.
That, Operation OX 2019?
I'm looking it up right now.
Oregon exercise. It was earlier in the year, and we chatted about that a long time ago, so I thought it was maybe one of those plagues. So I was surprised when he said it was leprosy.
Okay, so
it's probably
what you were pointing out...
They could be lying to him. Who knows?
So what you were pointing out is this is multiple too. We've had so many of these, and I just pointed out to you guys that Oklahoma is having this as well. This was another drill earlier this year, so they're all going on this year. All of a sudden, they're drilling to do an emergency via nation to everybody, like having to give out something. This is pandemic wrote all over it. This is literally.
I agree.
Something is going on. Like this is I'm. There's so many different states now, and I didn't even know about this one. This one's in Oregon, correct? Wait, this is in. That
one was earlier. That was.
Oh no, I know.
April,
but we're talking about this year.
May. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, what is it that they're trying to get into us or our children? I mean, that sounds like biological. You know what? Fair that you've mentioned before.
I'm
So,
just,
sorry, I'm a little nervous. I'm trying to do my best here, but I just wanted to get that out. And hopefully I didn't say enough to where people could pinpoint him. But to get that out of him was a lot, because I've tried to hint at other things. And, you know, like the person that was found in the water. And that's how I talk to him. I'll say, oh, have you heard anything about that? And poof, I didn't see him for months, you know, just for hinting at it. Oh, he squirmed as could be. He just locked up, and
are you talking
I didn't
about,
see him for a while.
are you saying you asked him about Timothy Cunningham and he didn't talk to you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like probably 6 or 8 months after it happened, nobody was talking about it. But when I saw him, I was like, oh, have you heard anything about, you know, the person in the hooch? That's what, you know, we call that river. And he locked up. I haven't seen him so uncomfortable. So I was like, oh, no problem. He's like, oh, no. And then, you know, I just kind of backed off and left it alone. But he's told me a few different things, but this was something that I thought was important for right now.
Well, thank you, Stiletto. And by the way, I've seen you just, I saw you, somebody showed me that there was this, they sent me a screenshot and there was a bunch of people talking crap, and you were one of the people that kind of stood up for me. So I appreciate that. Whatever,
no problem.
Whatever it was,
I
I
appreciate
thank you.
what you do. There's always bad apples everywhere, and we all just need to be as kind as we can. Everyone here is only trying to do good. So.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, and you have a wonderful night, okay?
All right, thank you. Bye, Foogle Fam.
And seriously, thank you for the info. Bye-bye. That's creepy. Talking about leprosy making a return. I don't know. That's crazy. Leprosy is the last disease I thought I would hear. Hello, you are live on Marfoogle TV. Is this Loretta?
Yes, it is. Hello. How are you, Mark?
Good. Did you hear that last caller? She said something. She's talking about leprosy coming back.
Oh no, I paused my thing. So, but well, you heard you. I think I heard on your place where the place in Russia blew up, the CDC, right?
Well, their version of our CDC in Russia is their virility center. Yeah, the other place with the only other place that has anthrax, smallpox, Ebola, who knows? Maybe leprosy was in there too. We actually don't know. Yeah. So
anyway, I'm
go ahead
because I have something I've been trying to get through to you. Ever since I've seen you on TV, several months. And I've sent you a couple of messages through Marfoogle TV at whatever. But anyway, something very important has came up that I have been brought to my attention from our Creator, which is the Almighty God. In Isaiah 7:14, our Father is saying Himself that He will send a sign, and behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. So the Father tells us to call his son's name Emmanuel, our Creator, okay? Well, then whenever you go to Matthew, it says Mary gave birth to a son, and she called his name Jesus. So I'm like, wow. So I went, and I have a companion Bible that has, has notes and stuff in there telling you what they did and, like what year it was, and stuff like that. It just has different notes. And whenever you go to the appendix where you look up, where you can see Jesus, and it'll tell you to go to Appendix 48. And I want to read Appendix 48 out loud. It says, the use of various types in the English Bible. The practice of indicating by different types words and phrases which were not in the original text. This is talking about the name Jesus. It was not in the original text. it is believed, first introduced by Sebastian Munster of Vale in a Latin version of the Old Testament published in 1534. The English New Testament published at Geneva in 1537 and the Geneva Bible 1560 put in that word, which lacking made the sentence obscure. That means nothing. But set it in such letters as may easily be discerned from the common text. The example was followed and extended in the Bishop's Bible of 1568, 1572, and the Roman italic types of these Bibles are distinguished from the black letter and Roman type of previous Bibles.
So Loretta, though,
introduced.
I'm a little confused. I guess I'm a little confused what context we're talking about this in. So are we just stating that Jesus' name was different before the Bible?
Well,
I guess, are you relating this to something?
I'm reading notes that they put in the back of the Bible, because I have a King James Version companion Bible. King James, not New International, the King James Version. And it's a companion, which means they put the notes of what they did in there. And the first English Bible was the 1611 King James Version that most people bought then or had then. But the King James Version 1611 has the name Iusus. It doesn't even have the name Jesus. They translated the name into Jesus from Iusus. And Iusus means earth pig. I mean, when I was realized this, I just fell to my knees and started praying for everybody to wake up. We have been deceived about everything in our life. And their Father says that we will be. In Revelations, he tells us that the whole world will be deceived. And it's not just deceived. We're deceived by everything, y'all. I mean, our history's a lie. Everything that we can think of in our life.
I'm gonna have to go through, because it's harder on my end to deal with all the stuff that's going on behind this. It's harder for my end to deal with it, and then I'm gonna have to rewatch my own section here and get what you're saying about how it's different and how it's changed. It sounds fascinating. We are past the 5 minutes, but I wanted to give you one last chance to say.
More thing?
Yep, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Please.
Yes, go ahead.
If you have a strong concordance, which tells you the Greek and the Hebrew languages and what the words mean. And so I went and looked up the word Jesus, and it means a great patriarch. It means disobedience. It means obstruction. So that doesn't sound like our Savior to me. Really, everyone needs to check into all of this, because if you don't see it for yourself and don't read it for yourself, you're not going to believe. I mean, because it's just so hard to believe that they did that to us, but they did.
Well, thank you so much, Loretta, for pointing that out to everybody, and I appreciate your call, and you have a wonderful night. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it back over. I think I'm a little confused. Okay. I know some people are, and then some people are saying totally right. So,
yeah, if you can give me a call, I'd like to talk to you. Behind whenever you can.
Just so you know, too, there's a couple Discord groups. When I announce, I do go in the prayer group. So if you want to meet me and just privately go in there, that would be great too. You have a great night.
Awesome.
And be safe. Okay.
Okay.
Bye bye.
All right. Thank you.
Like I said, it's hard for me. I'm a visual learner. Like a lot of people say that this show is good because it's, visual. But I can't look, I got to see something. I was a little bit confused by what she was saying. Okay. So we have Road to Prison. What is going on, man?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Oh, let me turn you up a little bit. You're a little bit low.
Oh, let me put my earbuds in. I'll be right with you. Hold on one second. Sorry.
Okay, I'll just read the paper or something.
Here, how's that? No, I'm good now. Can you hear me now?
All right. What's up? What's going on, Road to Prison?
Same old shit, different day, brother. Just trying to make $1 out of 15 cents, you know?
I hear that.
So, but,
all right. Well, so let's see here. You wanted to talk, actually, I saw your subject card here. Disconnect with elite and talks with police officers. Have you been talking with some police officers and getting some info?
Yeah. Actually, the other night when I called in, you did the topic on the disconnect and the raiding the police, and I called on that topic. Well, I had the opportunity last night just outside of Knoxville while I was out on the road. I stopped at a truck stop, and I was speaking with 3 police officers from the Dandridge, Tennessee police force. And long story short, I gave them the scenario that I gave you guys, my theory on how the elite are trying to push this disconnect, with, the separate and they somewhat agreed with me because they've noticed it too. And I also asked them, do you refer to your fellow citizens as civilians or do you refer to them as citizens? And they kind of like babbled a little bit. They're like, well, depending on the situation. So, yeah, they're well aware of it, even in the smaller towns. And they wanted to push it off onto the bigger towns and say, well, it's not really here. It's more in the bigger cities. So, they're aware of it, but what's going to happen? Are they going to slow it down or are they going to keep pushing the issue?
Now, what do you think? Road to Prison, one thing that you're good at, you've even done some stuff like you drove around and traveled around and you actually you bought a vehicle to actually go on an adventure, which I thought was so cool. Like, I've always wanted to just go off and travel. You did that for a minute there and probably will do it again at some point. But one thing I would love for you to look into is, this pandemic stuff. I know you're the kind of guy who would go up and go up to your local place and go, hey, what's up with this? Do you have any information or whatever? If you wanted to kind of be kind of do a report on that, I think it would be really cool if you went to your local spots or some of the spots that are around you and ask them. Because I know that there's you and probably about 10 other people that I could ask, and they would go to their local townships. If 10 of us all went and asked about something like a pandemic, I bet you would all get some pretty good information. And in general, to everybody, I would say go out and ask your local authorities and see if one of them slips up.
Oh, for sure. It's not going to hurt to give it a try. And I'm willing to go and be the roving reporter along with, I'm sure other people are willing to do it. You got to take an active role in your community. And not only for your community, but for your entire country and your fellow citizens, because there are a lot of people that are afraid to take that step to get out there because they're either introverted or they're just really extremely shy or they're just, uncomfortable with those situations. And I'm not uncomfortable with confronting or addressing issues with anybody at any time. So yeah, I'd be more than willing to do that. You tell me when and where, buddy, and I'm there, I'll do a report, or I'll do some on my own and see what I can do, which I did that down in Texas. Or if you remember, I told you about the Border Patrol agent. And I actually have another friend who's a Border Patrol agent that they shipped down to that same area in McAllen, Texas. And I warned him. I said, dude, be careful, let me know. But he considers me a sovereign citizen because he is on that other side. He gives me a lot of flack, because of what I believe in the truther community. So, he's in that thin blue line group. So, but yeah, I'd be more than happy to do that. Well, anything to support the Foogle family.
And you've been really awesome, by the way. And thank you for the shout out on your channel. I almost forgot to show you it. So Road to Prison is one of the many people that started channels out of the Foogle Fam. And the thing is I've always encouraged each and every one of you to start a channel. Heck, if you're commenting right now, or if you have the ability to comment on any video, that means you've created a channel. I hope everybody knows that. Like, people go, well, how do I create a channel? You already did. If you're allowed to chat or comment, it makes you do it. It says you're required to, create a channel. You press the little plus button up in the top half of your thing, and it will go load up a video. You can actually load a video. But again,
And that's, yeah, exactly. But most people are tech-tarded like I am, and also West Virginia prepared mind, we're tech-tarded. So I was just learning this stuff because I'm old school, and I don't want to get, too deep into the new technology. So, yeah, everybody's got a channel. If you're on here commenting, you're good to go. You can load up videos. You can go record it and load it. You don't have to go live, So go get involved in your community.
Well, also
take an active role.
You're almost at a, he's almost at another goal. So I hope we can help him right now. And I think it would be super easy and we can do it like that. Get to 2,000 subscribers. So Road to Prison, if you haven't checked him out, it's got quite a story.
Well, I appreciate the shout out, Marf, and I didn't call to get it shout out at all. I actually called because I was going to do a super chat. And I was going to, do a little venting in the super chat about the crap that's going on. And I don't want to bring too much attention to it. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to cut out of here. And if you don't want to hear it, you just hit the mute button and I don't have to worry about it. But what's going on with certain disgruntled ex-Foogle Fam that's bringing all this drama to the scene, it's getting old. And I'm hearing my name dragged through the mud. And people are going to poke this bear. And they're not going to like this bear getting poked. Because I don't take people's shit. And anybody's got anything to do whatever, come at me and we'll deal with it. They want to dox people, whatever. Here, how's this for doxing? My name is Leroy Stallman. My birth date is 8/26/1968, and I was born in Detroit, Michigan. So anybody, if you need more information, you just ask. You can send me an email at roadtoprison@yahoo.com. And guess what? I might get to the point where I'll come knocking on your door in another state because I travel. I have the will and the desire to travel. Make me mad, and you're gonna see the wrath that I can bring back to everybody. How about everybody just grow up and move along with their lives, and everything will be just fine, and people will just live their life. That's it. That's what I got to say. So,
I agree.
I hope I didn't say too much.
No, well.
Oh, and guess what, Mark? Guess what, bro? I've been to prison for cocaine. Dox that. So apparently people don't watch my channel.
Well, what I like is they talked about my record. I actually talked about my record. I don't have any charges. I have a DUI from when, back when I was 21, 3 months after my birthday. Or something like that. And I swear they'll go, he's lying. It was 4 months after his birthday. I've seen
oh my God,
the crazy, like creepy handwriting, like the obsessed handwriting, like he was 20, not 19. Why would he lie? I don't know. Cause it's been 14 years and who the hell remembers that kind of crap?
Right.
And then they talk, but anybody that's watched my channel, they've seen that I talked about that. When I was new, when I was like 3 months in, when I was 6 months in, and I talked about that. They pulled up a old arrest, which an arrest is not the same as a charge. They got dropped. They said, "Look at him, he lied. Exactly. He's got this on his record." I got in an argument with my then girlfriend when I was 20, and I did not get charged with anything. Anything where there's an argument with a woman or a man and a man, and they're doing this, it's called domestic. It's going to be a domestic violence. Right. But I did not get charged.
Exactly. And typically the man will be the one who's charged. So first of all,
I was the only one there.
That you're a human being.
I was the only one there.
But so you don't need to justify your life for anybody. Somebody that's they need to get a life. And we've already spent too much time on it. But what it does, it shows that you're a human being. I agree. Or he who lived without sin cast the first stone. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's like who cares? It was 14 years ago.
Right.
And did I do jail time for it? No. And the people that are saying it are actual, like, on probation with something on their ankle. Like, I just think that that's absurd. So, whatever.
Well, you know what? Let me say this. You've never, regardless, what people are doing, there's so many laws in this country that people don't even know that the typical person breaks three laws a day, probably 3 felonies. And then when you go out of your way and you cyber bully people and you do those things that you're doing, that's talking some federal crimes.
Oh, no. No. Somebody called CPS on my kids, on me. Somebody called CPS. I have 3 daughters, and we have the screenshot of everything. We've showed it to the FBI. That is probably the most, I've never seen somebody do something that low. And it's just sitting there. The proof is right there on the freaking thing. I'm like, wow. And after talking with them, like, that, who would do that to somebody, no matter what, no matter how much you hated somebody? That is just sick and low. So
that's just a twisted and demented individual.
Karma is a B. So we'll see what happens. They'll get what's coming.
Well, we spent too much time on that, giving them too much, airtime, and I apologize to you. I apologize to all the Foogle fam for even bringing it up, but I feel it was necessary that those who are unaware of what's going on ignore the insanity on the wackadoodle world. That's all. And I keep saying that's what I'm going to say. I'm shutting up now. I'm going to go, but thank you for taking my call. I love you, brother. I got your back, and that's it. So.
All right. Well, I love you too, man.
Much love
and Foogle Fam,
and peace.
Foogle Fam unites. All right. You have a great night. Be safe. Be prepared. Exactly. All right. Marf out.
And Leroy Stallman out.
All right. And then Robert Morgan says, how about Cars for Heroes as a charity? Isn't that patriotic enough for both of us? Special cars for special needs vets. So what Robert Morgan is saying is the charity for the Mafia shirts. So that's a great suggestion. The only thing is the only thing that is there is I just want to make sure. I did a charity for wounded warriors, and then everybody said that they were like defunct and bunk and had problems and had all sorts of bad stuff. So just want to make sure, if you guys have a suggestion, make sure to check them out first. All right. Sorry. I am like having a problem here. Okay. So we've got, I had a phone call coming in there. Let's see. Hello, you are live on MARFOOGLE TV, and it looks like this is London. First-time caller out of Delaware.
Yes.
So you wanted to talk about, you needed prayers and health for Jacob Israel. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Well, actually, prayers and thanks for Jacob, because he tuned me into Marf. And also the truth factor, I forgot her too. The health for Jacob Israel, because from what I understand, he's going through some things where he has been through things. And continued health for him and his family. And in fact, we both share a son named Noah. I have a 27, 22, and 14-year-old son. So, and I am a widow who my husband passed due to opiate overdose.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
So, but I was addicted because I was in a pain management for, almost 20 years, I guess. But as of March 31st, 2017, I stopped on my own, and every day I asked for God's help, and I received it. And I've had 298 seizures. I've also had 33 surgeries, medical instruments left inside me, botfly, which is from South Africa, implanted in my head somehow, and a lot of things that I could have won the lottery 10 times over. But what I wanted to say is I had an MRI yesterday and got the call, day before, and I got the call yesterday that they did find what I had been saying, what was wrong with me, that there is a tumor. I've lost the majority of my hearing in my left ear, and my eyesight is leaving me now. So I can't think of anyone else to ask for prayer other than people that are enveloped in, in deep with God, and Marf and your channel seems to be amazing. So, if I could ask for some prayer for healing.
I don't think you even realize it, but there's probably already a few hundred prayers already being said. So, of course, I will pray for you. That's all I can guarantee. But I can almost guarantee you that there are hundreds of people right now already starting prayers. Some of them are already at the amen point. So, no, a lot of people nowadays, kids don't, especially kids, people do not believe in prayer at all. And it's really sad because they've probably never felt anything close to the Holy Spirit. And anybody even hears about it, they back off and they go, they hiss at you like you're saying something that's, insanity. So either way,
exactly.
London, I am praying for you. And, they have seen plenty of miracles in tumors shrinking, tumors disappearing. You just need to get healthy. And if that means a miracle, then that's what you have to ask for, because you can't receive if you don't ask.
And that's what I kind of get downloaded from God. I guess that's what I call. My mom calls it knowing, but I call it downloading. And all of a sudden, I'll just realize something that all of a sudden it just makes sense. And oh my goodness, I don't want to go over the time limit, but I do want to say how much I appreciate you and the prepping my father started doing when I was, I'd say 12. So he got the word a long time ago. And like you said, I was a kid and I dismissed it. But now I'm 48 and I can see the miracle and I can feel the miracle and I expect the miracle. So the thing is, what kids don't understand is letters combined make words. Words combined make sentences. Sentences can be a blessing or a curse. No in between. And that's the fencers. So when you have a fencer and they don't believe in prayer or they don't want to pray, then you don't receive the miracle. So what a lot of people don't understand is that language is the conduit which all thought must travel. And thought is a vibration and a frequency. So it kind of all works together, I believe. And this is my belief.
And that's fine. There's a lot of people that blend a lot of things like the law of attraction and Christianity into each other. There's a lot of people that are just fiercely against each and every. This group is supposed to be where we can all tell each other what we believe and then move on. I think people get stuck up if somebody doesn't believe the same thing that they do. They get really stuck, they get emotional, they get angry, they get all sorts of things because it's not how they see things, and they see their own way of seeing things as the most logical. And they go, if they're not thinking the way I'm thinking, then, obviously they don't see that I'm smart. I'm seeing it right, and they're not seeing it right. So people it's just really weird how people get. But we did go a couple minutes over time. London, I just want to say, as your first time call, don't make it your last time call. Please call back again, all right?
Thank you so much, and God bless you, Marf, and your little new baby and your family. And you have a hedge around you, believe me. I pray for you daily. You said you have a problem also. So I don't know what it is, but I know that it's going to be taken care of.
Well, thank you so much, London. You have a beautiful night. Be safe, and I'm praying for you to get better, all right?
All right. Bless your family and bless your Foogle family.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Good night. I have a couple shout-outs. Let's see here. And of course, if you would like to pray for London, you may. I believe that a lot of you already were. Okay, so here's the thing. And again, I'm not a pastor. I don't, which by the way is one of the urban myths about me. This isn't a ministries, but it is connecting people. And I think my purpose was to be put here to help people prepare, and at least to not be so blindsided when a disaster hits. I think I think that people are going to be blindsided by the biggest disasters that you've ever seen. I think the world is changing, and that's just my honest opinion. You guys don't have to agree. You don't even have to watch. In fact, people can turn off the channel. That's what I don't get. The people that are just like so hateful that want to destroy this. Why? Like, why spend all of your live long day trying to destroy something that you don't even have to watch? It's not like anybody's forcing you to do anything. With this, I want to say Jacob Israel is an amazing man. We need to get him to 144. Please, if you haven't subscribed to this guy, doesn't matter. If you haven't seen him, you need to go see him. Don't hesitate. Leland Jones is the other person that she suggested. I do not know how good he is. I've never seen it. But it looks like he has some subjects that I think are quite fascinating, religious subjects. And then here's a third one. I want to personally shout out to En Yeshua Ministry, husband of one of the organizers, one of the group leaders in one of our groups. He's very quiet, and but when it comes to his ministry, he is very loud. He just started a channel. It's called En Yeshua Ministry. And I'm going to help him personally try to get some things together and to get him rolling to help him start this channel. So he is all about, the word. So I told him I would help him at least with his channel and do a shout out. So I hope a lot of people go over and check him out. His wife runs freedomizer.com, which I tried to pull up, but it wouldn't pull up for me. Freedomizer is an online radio station. And then these two folks are really great. They were at one of the physical meetups. I'm trying to remember. Was that Michigan? Dex, are you there, by the way? What was the first?
Hey, Adam, I'm here.
What was the first meeting I did last Sunday? I've been to so many meetings now.
It was Minnesota, I believe.
Minnesota. Sorry. And I'm sorry. And I missed him on Sunday because we had more meetings. It was 2 weeks ago. We had a Sunday of 2 meetings. It was Minnesota, and I can't even remember anymore. There's so many. Every Sunday, I've basically been at a meeting via Skype, and I spend hours with these groups. And I try to meet every single person I can one-on-one. So just to let you know that if you do end up going to one of those meetings, they let me know that they're doing one. And if they want, I show up via Skype. So if you want to be a part of that, or if you want to help organize one of those, please do get in the Discord and get in there again. And then that's one-on-one time with me. So I'm going to help him. I missed him on Sunday, and I feel bad. But then again, I had meeting after meeting after meeting with the group. So love all you guys. Dex, do you have anything to say about the news or the calls? I mean, I guess we have one more, right?
Caller. We got one more left. I was being polite because I heard you talking.
Okay, all right. Send him up.
You ready?
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right. Hang tight.
Okay, hello, Kevin, first-time caller out of Oklahoma. Whoa, what's going on? Former military VAXX'd. Okay, go ahead.
How you doing, Adam?
Good. So you say you actually got V-inated.
My son did.
Oh, okay.
All right. Let me break this down for you. I'm prior military. I was taking care of my son, and my ex-wife was in the military. Now, I'm a single dad with 3 kids now. We have been separated since before that transpired. That transpired her first deployment. So if you can imagine, my kids were 1, 2, and 3, and she was getting more sleep on the battlefield than I was getting at home. But so the reason I'm calling is I'm reaching out to the Foogle Fam. It's not to derogatory speak about the VAXXED, because that is a hot button issue as far as everybody is concerned who believes what, when, where, and why, and you're on left and right, Republican, Democrat, and who is the one that's actually the highest lobbyist group in Washington, D.C., as far as the last time I looked, is over big oil. That would be big, I don't know if I can say that on here, PHARMA.
Just go ahead and say it, because we don't know until you say, we don't know until it triggers it. Big Pharma. Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Big Pharma is bigger than big oil as far as the biggest lobbyist group. So I'm actually not coming in to try and press that issue. I'm on the backside now. This happened to my son like 10 years ago, man. So I've been making instrumental music for over 10 years, and I'm a single parent. My son's on Social Security. Obviously, I'm unable to go out and get gainful employment. And I'll just put it out there, Social Security and food stamps. I mean, this isn't a pity party. This is, hey, this is what's what. And I don't have the connections to individuals who actually know how to make cartoons, Adam. And I have this vision of my instrumental cartoons that put my son in a different position as far as his fits. When the music is going, it subsides his fits. And I'm trying to pony that up together with somebody. I'm trying to collaborate with somebody that knows how to make cartoon movies, but I'm not talking about junk cartoon movies, Adam. I'm talking about good cartoon movies. And is it Dax or Dex? Your guy that, yeah, he's got my YouTube. There's only like 400 views on the effing Jam, which I put that up years ago, and have been making instrumental music for over 10 years, probably more like 11. And when I was making that one, and it's 15 minutes. So the reason I'm talking about that one is I'd like all of the veterans that actually listen, especially the ones that have PTSD, to actually hone in, sit down, and listen to this track uninterrupted, if that's even remotely possible, for 15 minutes. Because it takes you on a ride. It's an emotional roller coaster. And my son was sitting behind me in the computer chair while I was making the music, and he still does that pretty much to this day. And he would fall asleep on my back. Now when I put that same song on, and I think that one's 8 years old now, it puts him in a different spot, Adam. So it's kind of lighting a fire up under me to where it's like, okay, I lose sleep at night. Being a single parent, they're 14, 13, and 12 now. Being a single parent with one of them injured as bad, and the cops getting called on me constantly, and him throwing fits in public. Anybody that has a disabled child, and congratulations on yours, your child, that is. But anybody that has a disabled child knows the struggle that I'm speaking about. It's hard to even go out in public, buddy. So for a disabled child to actually throw the fits in public and people not even realize what they're looking at and look at the parent as the parent is wrong, we've got a major problem in the United States of America. Major. It's not so bad in California because I was living there. But it is pretty bad right here in Oklahoma as far as non-educated individuals on what they're actually seeing with the kid throwing fits.
No, I understand that. I take care of my nephew as well. So, and he's autistic, and there's a lot of issues there that people don't understand. Some sort of the extreme spectrum. So, they might say, oh, they might know some of it, but not the extreme cases. It's really hard to deal with sometimes when they can't help it, and it's something that frankly is just something that most people can't handle, even being next to or near. Well, I appreciate you, Kevin, and hopefully somebody who is a cartoonist and a video maker will see this, go over to your channel, which is Mr. No Budget Films, all one word, and then you guys can connect. People have connected on a business level just by being shown on this channel, and somebody picked them up and said, "Hey, I want to meet up with you and grab your stuff, and you grab that." So it's called Effin' Jam. Obviously, I'm just not saying that word because it's. And I actually could say that. They don't censor that. But a lot of the times there's kids watching in the background in this show, so that's why we keep it clean. But thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it. We did go a little bit over the time, but I just really appreciate you in general. And please call again. Maybe if you call again, you can remind people that you need a cartoonist or anything like that, and then we can do that. I know how hard it is being a single parent as well, because I was one before I had my other 2 kids too. So, all right. Thank you so much.
And if you're ever willing or wanting to do a show on that topic, I mean, I'm in the process of writing a book on it too. So, I mean, it's sad to say, but I'm pretty darn versed in the spectrum. And you being that you said it was your nephew, I think, you know what I'm talking about. So, and a lot of people don't understand it. They really don't. And it's a sad state of affairs out there in the United States that they don't know what they're seeing. So, but I appreciate your time, man. And if there's anybody out there, let me give you my email before I go. It's NINYOURMIND productions@gmail.com. So it's inyourmindproductions@gmail.com.
All right, man. Again, that's inyourmindproductions.com. It was a pleasure to have you. Kevin, you have a great night, okay?
You do the same, buddy.
All right. Dex, man, what in the heck is tonight? Just a plethora of stuff. Can you believe that caller about the leprosy? That's insane.
Yeah, I mean, there's you're either gonna prevent it or you're gonna have to take it because you get it. No matter what, a needle's gonna get stuck in you. That doesn't sound good. Right? I mean, there's a no-win situation there.
I've constantly debated, like, what the hell is up with the whole, are they scaring you to get something injected? And like, what, I've always been like in the middle, like where I'm like, why would they want to do this? Obviously they don't work as well. What are they putting in it that if there was a conspiracy, say there was a great grand conspiracy, what would they be putting in it what would be they putting in that needle to change you? Are they putting RFID? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, it's the extras. It's like, we're going to put the needle in you because you've got a problem. You don't want to get leprosy or you've got to cure it. But it's what else is going into that serum. Yeah, very scary.
Well,
we
Dex,
did have I did have a comment I saw I captured that I thought was worth mentioning from one of the Foogle Fam. It said, not sure what's going on, but what I do know is my brother is a communication specialist in the Army, and he said that there's been setting up a lot of remote comms, battle comms, in a couple of different locations here. So it's kind of interesting feedback to get for the family members.
Remote comms being set up. See, I could see
battle comms.
That's not good. And I'm telling you,
here in our land, in a couple of states, I don't want to put too much out. Comments.
No, I think that we're kind of on the tip of it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we get that we have to vet first before we get, or we just can't say. But if it ever is going to put somebody in danger, then we do end up putting it out, or we'll put it out via our alerts. If you have not checked out the alerts, they, of course, are on marfooglenews.com. You can just go to this website, and at the top, you actually say, join Discord and alerts, and then bam. It will actually be up here, and then boom. You just put your email and your name. And by the way, people have said, like, oh, what is this? This we pay for to make sure that it's secured. If you see a little lock up there, we pay to make sure that our information goes directly to you and no one else. Again, so, make sure to sign up for this. This is what we are going to use. All of our sources, we put it out through vetted emails. We don't even send out that many. How many total have we sent out so far?
Maybe 5.
5.
Aside from the one you get when you sign up. So yeah, we haven't sent out a lot.
And
recently we haven't sent out.
How many months have we had this? 4 months, 5 months?
At least 5 months.
So just to let you guys know, we have the ability to bing, 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 and we don't. We only send out something that's really, really good, vetted information. So make sure to sign up for it. With that being said, Dex, you are a lovely person inside and outside, mostly outside. Thank you so much for everything that you do for yourself.
Well, I appreciate it, and I appreciate the Foogle Fam. I'm happy to help everyone here. I talk to lots of people.
Oh, yeah. No.
Every day.
Yeah, I'm sure you talk to people. And yourself. A lot.
And myself.
Yes.
Okay. In the mirror.
At night. With the lights off. Luckily.
Exactly.
Intentionally. All right, man. Well, you've been a problem this whole show, so I'm going to turn off your part, and I'm going to turn up my part.
Right.
Just kidding.
God bless everybody.
Love you. God bless you, Dex.
Love you. Goodbye, everybody.
Every single person loves Dex. Maybe there was one that doesn't. I don't know. Thank you all for coming tonight. It was a great show, and it wouldn't be great without you. Because you are what makes this happen. Cricket Lulu, make sure on your way out that you go to Marfoogle News.com. Have you ever run a live show and then had a burp? Don't worry, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Rob Stewart and everyone that you've ever had. Oh no, Stiletto and Lillian London, no. Summer Alice in Heaven Bound, they're about to go roll. Randy Newman and the Telex Star, waiting on Messiah, Jesus Conquest. Sweet P11, and you know that we're going all the way home. By the way, Conquest, you're going to get a Love Mob tomorrow. I just want to walk back down. Everyone knows me now. We've got everyone here now. Kathy Wyatt wants to breathe into the love girl interrupted. Bring to us Ice Razor A. Ice Razor A. Awake and aware. The conquest gonna go. Got to ride and rock and roll. Tony Higginson gonna think that I'm your son. Row. Mystics walk. make sure that you check out every little thing that we do at marfooglenews.com. Sammy Lee, thank you. April Osborne says, my last chemo is on Halloween. Congratulations, April. Watch Woman for Jesus, new tribulation vid on my channel. I saw many scary plagues in the end days. Warning, bad winter coming to suck food. Alternative heat. Thank you, Balua Nix, for subscribing. Conquest, all micro kills drones. Jade Helm 15, all connected. By the way, Conquest, you know, and you probably heard, I'm gonna love mob you tomorrow. Thank you for the video. It was very, very nice. Kelly B, Marf, I just want you to know I sincerely appreciate you and the Marfoogle family. Thank you. Sammy Lee McMillian says, Marf and Dex, you are always amazing. Thank you for all you do. Love, Sammy Lee. Well, Sammy Lee and Kelly B, I appreciate that. Gloria White, there is no box. God is not limited. Siamese Dream, thank you for subscribing. Balua Nix, thank you for subscribing. Johnny Bix, thank you for subscribing. Jessica Lamonda, thank you for subscribing. Rage Monster, thank you for subscribing. As we sit with the rest of us looking down, we try to find each other now. Mr. Grumpy son of Father Abazeed Wreck. Mr. Grumpy overbuilt automotives in his loan. The RE-55 Donna Betty on by his side, and just Arizona got to go down by the Red Navy ride. It looks like Letitia Stoll just got here. So apparently everybody's just going to stop because you're late. So everyone just make sure to thank Letitia Stoll for being late. That's okay. We'll just start the show over here. We'll do that. Guess I have to do another show. Thanks, Letitia. Really appreciate it. What's up, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. That was weird. It doubled up. EMC, thank you for coming, even though you are supremely late. And no, I'm not going to start over for you. In fact, I'm never going to start again. This is my last show for tonight. Until tomorrow. And then I'm coming back. And I'll never give up. And I'll never leave. Isn't that right? Uh-oh, it looks like it's changed up just a little bit all of a sudden. That is so unnecessary, Sammy McMillian. Sammy McMillian, I have one posted right down below. It is the first address right underneath the video. Do you have a P.O. box? Yes, I do. Just don't send any bombs to the preacher. Hey, Mind Central Control. Or maybe I got it backwards in your Mind Control Central. Hey, thank you for coming. Hey, Planet X Watcher. Hey, Amy Skunk, or whatever you are. Put it back in your trunk, Miss Carolyn Boggs, and let's go down there. Now we get on to it. Now we do raw. Number 2, got them big bugs and that Chris Coleman by my side. I'm about to say it right on the low like Heidi Gregorio. I've got my Tisha Foogle aware, my Starfire Horizon, and my Gina Esperanza, and my Samuel Lee McMillan, and my Aim Rives, and my Bring It Right Back, and say hello to bee calves. Laurel Batty and my Carl Erickson, my Sandra Moody, and the rest of the Hendersons, including Cheryl and the rest. Thank you and congratulations on winning your EMP shield. Hey, Tracy Holder, thank you for coming, and thank you for making this show what it is. Because I'm a tiny little scaredy cat with nothing under my Susie Gwen Galf. You know what we really need is an instrumental maker, like instrumental beats. But you know, those are hard to find around here. Remember, keep it positive all around you. If people are saying mean things and telling you to put things in your mouth, just say, I love you and I forgive you. And if they tell you that you're crazy and you're too ugly, then you tell them to go F-O. Hey, what's up, Mom? How you doing? Adds a little pie. Lady Liberty speaks. Richard Borba. Tish Foogle aware. Kilroy was here. Hey, Reba Snowfall. Hey, Herman Effel. Hey, Jennifer Kessler, don't you hang out now, the rapture girl now. Lexi with Dex and we, Tony Cone number 23. Hey, Murphy's Law and a positive Chan. Oh, hanging out with the Dank Viking and the Janice Price with the J Merritt and the D Check and I would say Mom. Hey, old Ryder and the Pop Mafia. Hey, Chris Coleman and the Debbie Barber. Hey, Carrie Cola hanging with Occam's Razor. Hello, Occam's Razor. Hello, Occam's Razor. He's a poor man's poison, and I tell you what, he's a great guy. Got your stargazer, 2020 going down. Penny Hutchins bringing it round for the rest of the Foogle family. For the Foogle family. For the Foogle family. For the season bags of the Foogle family. Pole shift. Oh shit! It's pole shift. Rebecca Fisher, Sandy Jones. Why don't you check yourself before you the crazy Mexican? I hope you aren't a legal alien. Because I might be fined $250,000 in the wrong context.
I like the way that down with the words and everything that goes in, just, kind of do the same thing.
We had to get a little bit of rock and roll in here. Because nobody knows. It's got a sublime feel to it. Like a sublime feeling to it. Bring you right back down. Feel G, wanna cry, hippie, hanging around. Joe Morgan, Raleigh, will don't wanna be something real. I've got the dentist fly goo, hanging with the Kygos. Put the tea in Tiger. John Nelson really wanna be a friend to you. Required. I ain't got no Santeria. I ain't got no crystal ball. Well, if I had $1 million, well, I'd spend it all if I could find that Hannah. And that Sancho she found. Jay Lebowski, bring it down, don't you be all the same. Poof, la, la. A rider, mom. Cricket, Lulu, Jaystone, 78. And the Lisa, and the CJ Flash. A different way. Thank you, Blue Night Grinner. Somebody needs to recognize the mods. You know, they get a lot of crap for being the grown-up that says, nope, you're not supposed to do that. You guys know what time it is. It's about the end of the night. Thank you, Red Pill Me, and thank you for the 2,000 folks that stay all the way through the outro. What other channel can say that? And it's all because of you, the smartest people in the room. My text alert just went to the beat. Hey! Make sure on your way out to head over to marfooglenews.com. Go to N Yeshua Ministries to check out a beautiful new channel. It's called The Love That We've Got. Yes, yeah. If you want a friend and a poor man's poison, just get it down for y'all. It's the Northern Tiger. Oh no, why? waka waka. 0 point universe. I've got that. Ooh. I've got to dump on. Now let's try this one. Ooh, 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 ooh. No, 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 no. Nah. Wonder Manda sounds like airplanes. Wicca wicca, I got that James car. Got that whole flung dung in a mad Hansiger running. Rebecca Fisher, Northern Tiger. Got that Cindy Hackett and we do it all nighter. Gotta go right higher. Hand yourself the lighter. Big puff puffer. And we stuff her. Now you know, now you know. Gotta roll, gotta roll. Now you guys have a great night. Be safe. You know this is the last song of the night. DJ Parlo P. LaPuff. I don't know where that came from. Because remember, people love you for you. And I love me for me.
I am looking for attention. I don't need the extra tension. Cause I'm in the fourth dimension. Trapeze high in suspension. Now don't bother with the haters. Cause they all be imitators. Real life manipulators. Get fit back up and see you later. I like me for me. I'ma be what I'ma be. I like me for me. I am who I wanna be. Don't need no apologies. Just peace and serenity. No to the jealousy. Wonder Woman identity. I like me for me. I like me for me. Head over heels, you know how that shit feels. You think it's out of space, but I know that it is real. Sipping Chapo Chico, La Coca Puerto Rico. Lick it dance waterfall, anywhere that we go. I am looking for attention. I don't need the extra tension. Cause I'm in the fourth dimension. Trapeze high in suspension. Now don't bother with the haters. Cause they all be imitators. Real life manipulators. Get fit back up and see you later. I like me for me. I'ma be what I'ma be. I like me for me.
Literally imitating down to the outro.
Apologies, just peace and serenity. No to the jealousy. Wonder Woman identity. I like me for me. I like me for me. Na 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 na. Gotta prove it to myself and nobody else. 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 I like me for me. I'ma be what I'ma be. I like me for me. I am who I wanna be. I like me for me. I'ma be what I'ma be. I like me for me. I am who I wanna be. Don't need no apologies, just peace
am I doing? I was walking down the street and I was hanging out with me love, and me and Gail Firestorm hung out with Robin Miller, and we were showing tons of love. Gotta bring me back down to Carolyn Boggs River, 'cause baby gonna go say something about sharing them, but no, they don't wanna hear me now. They don't wanna see that Gloria White go down by the side of the night with Roger Cunningham, Terry and Mo out. Terry and Mo out. Elizabeth cold, hello, gotta go to sleep and lost my soul, and I know you. Hello, Joni Rice and Trina Flores and the rest of your guys on the Derek's homecoming in Mount of Hope. This got Greta going burning at the stake. Do not give up. Don't go and do that Kylie and Holy Aslan thing they did, and thank you, Conquest, from the bottom of my heart. Patty Chapman, who flung down, got that Rob Stewart in the low, got your Sherry 80 and the Ronnie Brown. Thank you, Alice Crawley. Thank you, Gloria White Victory. You guys are all my lads. And bring it right back for stuff I hear I said. And don't let you go to sleep until you say thank you to CJ Blaze, MG Toe Forever, and all the rest of the Mystics Walk folks over there at Einstein's mom. And man, oh man, that old rider just keeps on going right down there like hemorrhoiders. And adds a little paw. I never saw some girl like that. And man, she knows how to work it like Kimmy and Nat. Hey, Red Pill Me, thank you for red pilling me. And Tracy the Fam, thank you for being the fam, ma'am. Hello, the crazy Mexican. I like you. And so with Area 55 and the rest of the crew. Mimi love, you're great. Have a good night, guys. A lot, Heidi. A lot. It was a croaky amount of CBD. I don't even think that's how that word is used. That's how much CBD. If you have it, light it up. If it's legal. If it's not, doesn't matter.
Away.
It's like in movie credits, where you don't know if they're going to show a preview of the next movie. Only you know there's no preview. Somebody actually noticed. B. Cav said you fixed your squeaky chair. Yes, I did, mate. And you would probably laugh when you see how I fixed it. I didn't have WD-40, so I brought down olive oil. I'm not even kidding you. And I just poured it all over the bottom of the chair. So right under my feet is still a bit sticky. But it worked in a pinch. If you don't know, go back to my old shows. The chair was squeaky as... Have a good night, folks. Good catch, P-Cavs. You are my lad. Marfoogle TV, the channel they hate so much they watch every episode and secretly like it. My biggest haters know much more than my biggest fans. They timestamp it. That's what you call love-hate relationship.